Huh?
And you're live.
Morning, Mazel Tov.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah,
Really
so you
nice to
saw
see
yesterday.
that,
That's
Lazik, put on tefillin.
No, he said thank you. You know that.
Wait, we got to reprint this. Yeah, right? I don't know how to do it. All right, fine. Well, that's great.
He said he enjoyed it.
No, it's on the thing.
Yesterday morning, he enjoyed it. Got a lot of things. He said he got fried. He's like,
Yeah, you did. All right, so since I think we should run through the Mishnah real
Kayin
quickly.
Klum.
What?
Kayin Klum.
We can start from Klum, we can start from Kayin, or we can start from the beginning of the Mishnah. Okay. Rabbi say, yesterday was Rosh Chodesh, so we only made it through halfway through the Mishnah. It's really a new sugya, but we'll go through the beginning of the Mishnah real quickly. Shtei nashim shalei bikru, v'yoldu shnei scharim. A man had two wives, unfortunately. He had two wives. Shalei bikru, v'yoldu shnei scharim. It's their first child, and both of them gave birth to Zecharim. So it's a no-brainer. Nois and Esther Slam L'chayin, this guy has no choice, even though he doesn't know which child came from which wife. There was a mix-up. He owes 10 slime. Meis echad memdek shloishim yoyim. If one of the two died, and he already prepaid his pidyon haben, as the Gemara is going to discuss, if it works, why it works. In l'kayin echad nasan, if it all went, the prepayment went to one kayin, yachzil l'chamish slime. So the kayin owes the father 5 slime, because the 5 slime only applies, it only comes into effect on the 30th day. This kid died before 30 days, so he was never obligated in the second 5 slime, so he has to return it. However, if he gave the 5 slime to do different kohanim, and each one is going to deflect and say go to the other kohen, and therefore he doesn't get his money back. Zachar nekeva. So a man has 2 wives, one gave birth to Zachar, one gave birth to nekeva. In this case, he only owes 5 slime. Again, the nekeva, it's possible that she was born first to one of the women. So he only owes 5. In this case, it's possible that the 2 firstborns were nekeva, v'zachar. So pay attention that over here in this part of the Mishnah we have 2 cases here. Shtei nekevos. If you look over here, you have 2 nekevos and a zachar.
No, that's 2 nekevos, 2 zachar.
Shtei nekevos v'zachar. Yeah, 2 nekevos, nekeva, zachar. Case number 2.
2 is not opposite.
Nekeva, zachar. Or shnei zacharim u'shtei nekevos. Or case number 3, 2 zachars, 2 nekevos. Engan l'koyin klum. Achas bikru, achas shloi bikru. If one of his wives already gave birth, this is not her first birth. V'yoldu shnei zacharim, and between the 2 wives, they gave birth to 2 zacharim. One of the zacharim is a bechar, one of them is not a bechar, but they got mixed up. The father is obligated at least for one. Nois and chamish shleim l'koyin. Meis echad mehem v'sei shleishim yoyim. If one of the 2 died, because now the father is going to claim that the one that died is the bechar, so he has 0 obligation. The kohen can't prove it.
Within 30 days.
Yeah, he died within 30 days. Meisa av habanim kayamim. If the father died and the kids survived, remeir oimer emnosnu actually cholku. If they gave the pidyon haben before they divided the estate, nasnu v'mlav k'turim, like we discussed yesterday. It doesn't matter when, if they divided the estate or they didn't divide the estate. At the end of the day, there's a shibud on the nechasim. Now, going back to the same case, one of the wives gave birth prior to this. One of the wives never gave birth, and between the 2 of them, they gave birth to a zachar and a nekeva. So it's possible that the wife that never gave birth, her child was a nekeva. And therefore, there's ein l'koyin klum, and this is where we are holding today. So we read it. This is Noam's Chazara. Shtei nashim shtei anashim shlei bikru v'yol shnei zcharim. Case is different. You have 2 men who are married to 2 separate women, shlei bikru, and they never gave birth, like in a hospital, like we have today. 2 random people. They never gave birth. V'yodu shnei scharim, and their two boys got mixed up. Ze noisen chomesh shleim lakoyin, v'ze noisen chomesh shleim, and they give. And mamish, I just recently saw this whole story happened in Russia. Two boys got mixed up, and their entire life they realized they're not part of this family. Like one was really wild, and his parents were like very, and the other one was really quiet until like later on with DNA. So it happens. This stuff happens.
Especially in Russia.
Yeah, you should see this hospital. It's closed. It looked. It was like the size of a house, basically.
Even happens in North Russia.
Today they're very makbid with the bands.
Today
and this,
it's much
and the
less
fingerprints.
prevalent.
Yeah.
Zeh
noise of chomesh shleim lakoyin, v'zeh noise of chomesh shleim lakoyin. So now, each one for sure has a bechor. They just don't know which one of the children is theirs, so they're both obligated in the opinion of Ben. Now they get lucky. One of the kids dies, so each one's going to claim, my son died. When it comes to money, of course. When it comes to taking the kid home, it's a difference. So if they already both prepaid and they prepaid to a single kohen, between the two of them, he has to give back 5 slime. In the Shnei Kohanim Nasnu, and the Gemara is going to discuss what's the difference. In the Shnei Kohanim Nasnu, Einon Yechoylev, it's not in there, it's in there. Oh yeah, I want to ask you why. In the Shnei Kohanim Nasnu, Einon Yechoylem Lahoitzi Miyadam. If the two fathers gave to two separate kohanim, which is normal in our days, they can't claim, oh,
But they both owe.
what?
They both owe money.
Yeah, but they're two separate people, two individuals that have two separate pidyon bens,
Okay.
and one of the kids died. They don't know who's who, so they can't go to the kohen and say,
Give me back the money.
my kid died, give me back the money. The kohen says, no, it's not your kid that died, it's the other guy's kid that died.
Prove it. Prove it was your kid.
Okay, so you have two wives married to two men. One gave birth to Zachar Unekeva. One gave birth to Nekeva. The Nekeva is Pater. And there's a mix-up. So each father is going to claim, my kid is the Nekeva. Ha'ava is Pturim. So therefore, the fathers are Pater. V'haben chayiv l'blis esatzma. However, the son himself, he knows that he's a Bechor. Either way, he's a Bechor. Just the question is, who's the father? So the fathers themselves are not obligated. But the son himself has a chiyuv.
Why is this only brought in this case? Why not earlier? In that case,
Where?
that also.
What's the case?
Zachar and Nekeva.
No, because he's not for sure. He's not for sure. He's not for sure Bechor.
Here also, there's
No, he's for sure
No,
Bechor.
they're both Bechoros. They just don't know which from which
Two
parent.
women never gave birth.
Right.
One gave birth to something, and one gave birth to something.
One was a
But either way, he's a Bechor. We don't know who the mother is, but he is a Bechor.
They're both
Yeah.
Peterach. They're both Peterach.
They're both Peterechem, very good. Just one is a Peterechem girl, Nekeva, and the father. And each guy is going to say, the Peterechem, I got the girl. I got lucky. I don't know the kind or anything. I'm telling you, that's how it is. He's going to say to the Kohen, I don't owe you anything, but he's going to fight with the other guy that the boy is his because he doesn't want a girl at home. That's how it goes. Zohar Nekeva is pure. Ben Chayv L'Dis Atzmoy. Shtei Nekeva is v'Zohar. Again, we're going through these 3 blue cases over here. Shtei Nekevas v'Zohar, if you have 2 Nekevas and 1 Zohar. Or Shtei Nekevas v'Shtei Scharim, even in the case where there's 2 boys, but it doesn't matter because there's 2 girls. So each father is going to claim that the firstborn, the Peterechem, was a girl. And therefore I'm not obligated in Binyan Ben. And who has to prove it? The Kohen has to prove it. Ein kan lekohen klum. Kohen doesn't get anything. Who's the Kohen? All the Kohanim in the world. There's no specific Kohen. Achas bikro, v'achas shalei bikro. It's 2 women. One never gave birth, and the other one gave birth. Shel shtei anoshim, and they're married to 2 separate men. V'yodu shnei scharim, and they gave birth to 2 males, and they got mixed up. Zeh shalei bikro, ishtoi, the one that his wife never gave birth, so he for sure has a Bechor here. He just doesn't know which one it is. He has to pay 5 slime.
It doesn't make a difference. She has to give.
Exactly. It doesn't make, that's exactly what the Mishnah said. It doesn't make a difference because regardless, there's a boy here that's his. He doesn't know which boy it is, but there's only 2 boys. The possibility is that his wife gave birth to a boy, and we just don't know which boy. But if you throw a nekeva into the mix, now we don't know what his wife gave birth to. It's possible his wife gave birth to the nekeva. Zachar nekeva ein kan lekoyin klum. Fine. Says the Gemara, Maishno shnei kohanim. We said if they prepaid, yeah, it's a lot of cases. I printed them out. I have them, but it doesn't help anything. It's the same as the Mishnah. Just 9 cases, 12 cases, whatever it is. I forgot which Mishnah it is. I printed it just for the 8 minutes.
Are these all permutations? Are these all the permutations, or are there others?
I don't know. I didn't go.
He doesn't know.
I mean, the question is why the redundancy? So like you can learn. So we said we say that in a case where the father's prepaid, if they prepaid to 2 separate kohanim, then they don't have an eitzah. They don't get their money back. If one of the kids died, nobody gets the money back because it went to the 2 kohanim, and each kohen could say, "I got the money from the live kid." So each one pushes them off. It's a bam kasha, really. It's so strong the kasha that we have to change the Mishnah. Even if it's one kohen, what's going to happen here? Reuben is going to go to the kohen and say, "Hey, by the way, my son died. There's a levaya. I need my 5 selah back." He's going to say, "It's not your son that died. It's Shimon." Then Shimon is going to come to the kohen, and the kohen is going to tell him the same thing. It's not your son. It's Reuben. He's going to deflect him either way. So what's the difference if they gave it to 2 kohanim or they gave it to 1 kohen? The kohen could always say, "Prove to me that's your child that died." Says the Gemara on Shmuel, the only way to say the case is that Reuben and Shimon made a deal. Reuben signed off to Shimon, and he says, "You go to the kohen and collect money and tell him." What? Ooh, it's not my fault that he said Shirin that day. Who said it wasn't hooker? You're just saying you saw it has to be hooker.
That's what.
So what? So you're saying that it has to be after 30 days?
Oh no, that was only a riot to Rav Yana. Maybe he doesn't know Rav Yana. Rav Yana said it has to be hooker over the suffering.
Yeah, and this is not considered hooker.
There's not hooker because we don't know who it is. That's the whole point. We don't know who's the before who's now. We don't know who belongs to.
It's not considered hooker because there's no definite.
Deal with you.
It's
recognized.
To you.
At one point,
there
was a chiyuv on the kid, and then after. I didn't give shir that day, so I'm not clear on that.
The coin is going to come.
It was Daf Mem Zayin, right?
No, 2 fathers say if my son dies.
Ask the Gemara. Okay, finally, we're on today's Daf.
It's not that you keep. No, it's not my son. It was your son. They keep it together.
But I'm in Nardoya.
Understand?
Look, Asvinin Adrachto Mitatali. As the Gemara, Nardoya say you can't do Rasha. You can't make a deal between the 2 of them. What's happening here? The kohen owes money either to Reuben or Shimon. So the trick is Reuben and Shimon come together. They write a shtar. They say, "Look, I'm giving up my share. You give up your share. We're going to go together. Class action suit against the kohen. Between the 2 of us, he owes us 5 selah." As the Gemara, but you can't do that when it's metaltalin. Why? Because it looks like you're lying. The kohen is holding the money, and the Eidim are signing on something saying that the kohen owes them something, but it's in his possession. You could do it on karka because karka is not owned by anybody, just up in the air. You don't see who the owner is, but by metaltalin you can see who the owner is. It's mechzi keshikra. Says the Gemara, "Hanemi lehecha de kafre, lehecha de kafre kasminan." In this case, the kohen doesn't. He's not arguing. He's just saying it's not you, but it doesn't argue that he owes it. He knows that he owes the 5 selah. Zog the Gemara, it says in the Mishnah, "Zochur nekeva ein kan lekoyin klum." Kana Rav Huna, shnei zechorim unekeva. So Rav Huna sticks in case number 4. It's a little cut off. It's not the way I wanted to come out, but another case. It's the same case basically as case number 3. If there's 2 zechorim and 2 nekevas, which is the stronger case, even in a case where there's 2 zechorim, each father could say that the firstborn of the twins was an nekeva. Prove it to me. Rav Huna just sticks in the case that we had yesterday. 2 zechorim and 1 nekeva. You don't need. So each father will say that it's his nekeva that was born first. So how come our Mishnah doesn't have case number 4? If we're already going through all the cases, we might as well throw it in there. In the beginning of our Mishnah, it doesn't work because either way the father is chayev in Bechoros, because one of his wives gave birth to a zachar first. If there's only 2 zacharim, 1 nekeva, then you can't use the nekeva for both women. The father is obligated in at least 1 pinyan ben. So you can't say, I don't owe you anything. So just to make it symmetrical, the whole Mishnah, just to have the same theme, so we didn't say the 4th case. Says the Mishnah.
You were going. I think you said you were going to explain somewhere how does this prepayment work.
Here now.
Oh, that's it.
If the son dies within 30 days and he prepaid the Pidyon Ben, the Kohen has no.
There's already Kenyan in it.
He has no right to the money.
There was no.
The Kohen has no right to the money because Pidyon Ben is only chal after 30 days or 30 days, whatever it is. But the kid is before 30 days. The father never owed him the money. He prepaid it. The Kohen has to pay it back.
Who do you give it to?
He gave the specific Kohen. Nosan. Oh, sorry. Here's a very interesting chiddush. The son dies after 30 days. Even though the father didn't pay up the Pidyon Ben Yitei. You can't say, oh, but the kid died. The kid died after 30 days. And on day 30 or 31, you had a chiyuv. So you have to pay up your chiyuv. Just because the kid dies doesn't mean that your chiyuv that you had on day 31, you can't retroactively remove your chiyuv. If he died exactly on the 30th day, it's considered as if he died on the 29th day. There's no chiyuv. Rabbi Kiva says, as the Gemara is going to explain, there's a suffix. What day do we go by? So therefore, we do Hamoitz Mechaver L'Vraya. Im Losan Lo Yito. If he already gave the money, so now the father has to prove that the halacha is that it's like the 29th day. V'im Loi Nosan Lo Yitin. And if he never paid, then the Kohen should bring a raya what the halacha is. If the 30th day, yeah, but we're before, yeah.
Sumkas argue? Sumkas say achloiku on this, or no? It's not mammon of the suffix. It's a suffix on the day.
Right.
How does
Speak the Yoma.
How
And
does
it's
the
Yisrael will be
ceremony-
different than Chuslar's maybe. What?
how does the ceremony work with picking up when
Here, let's see the Gemara. Maybe the Gemara will explain.
I don't think you say Shapiona. I vaguely remember.
Then they talk about it. It's
It's a
discussed.
bit like it's a bit
discussed
like
about.
when the father
Shulchan
dies.
it's a great day, but the day didn't really happen.
When the father dies and you got big Yerusha.
You'd say, Dave, I made the mean.
Well, it's a happy thing. Well, it's happy.
But
You're doing a mitzvah.
Because you lose your son.
Yeah. You're happy with the mitzvah, but you're sad that you lost your son.
where the baby's died on day 33,
Yeah.
and he hasn't yet paid the money,
Right.
the Mishnah has to pay the money.
Right.
Why can't you just say to the Kohen, take the baby? I'm serious. Because
No, because he's paying not for today. He's paying for day 31. Today's value is nothing. Today the baby is worth a lot more, a lot less.
Halach.
I have to. No, but on day we don't care. Time is frozen on day 31.
Something you want to talk about?
He's not here. Now he could, yeah. But he's watching. Says the Gemara, "My tamayim d'Rabbanon." Gamri chodesh min midbar, just like the pidyon ben in the midbar. Mahasam v'mala. It was above 30. Avhacha nami v'mala. Meis b'yom shloshim k'yom shelefanav. So Chachamim say that the 30th day is like the 29th day. Why? It's like the midbar. It has to be shloshim v'mala. It has to be more. Avhacha nami v'mala. So we're talking about pidyon abed. So it's like in the midbar. Rabbi Kiva misapkele. He's not so sure. Over there it says 60 and older. We should have learned it straight out from midbar. Why does the Torah have to tell us that it's above? So it seems like it's dafka by erchin. I can't learn since the Torah says specifically by erchin, and it says it by the midbar. So we, in our days, by pidyon ben can't learn it. We're talking about pidyon ben itself. We're trying to learn pidyon ben in our days from pidyon ben in the midbar. So perhaps you could learn it out. And so he has a suffix, and therefore he says, if the father gave the money, then he loses it. If he didn't give the money on the 30th day, then the kohen has to prove it. That if there was a nafel, he died, so there's no avelos. It's like he's not a viable child, so there's no avelos. Since avelos is the rabbanon, so we go like the more lenient opinion that the Yom Shloshim is like the 29th day. There's no avelos. The father died within 30 days. So now we don't know what happened. So we have to assume that the father's not going to prepay. People barely pay, as we're going to see in a second. People barely pay when they have to pay. So why should we say that the guy paid even before he was supposed to pay? Yeah, there are some people I know a guy that booked his son's bar mitzvah hall like 3.5 years before the bar mitzvah.
3.5?
Whatever.
A year.
A year is more.
I know a guy didn't book it.
And there's a guy that has bar mitzvah
Day
28
before his
days.
son's bar mitzvah.
Hasn't booked it
You
yet.
get both ways. You get both ways.
You have two types of people there. But do we have to assume that the guy paid off the coin before the 30 days? What's the lashon here? He has to prove. He has to bring a raya that he paid. Okay. The father dies after 30 days. Now we're talking about a lot of money. Like when you see it's $45. We have to know, does he owe the $45 now? So now we have to assume what?
It's not just money.
How can you prove that something didn't happen?
Oh, very good. So if you look at the lashon of the Mishnah, it says Achiyoimru loy. There's no proof. It doesn't say Yovi Raya. And that's exactly a very, very good point that Mr. Kornbluth brings up here. If you look in Rashi for a second, you'll see Rashi says. First Rashi says Uba Mira Sagi Beloy Edis Gemura. Achiyoimru. Look at Rashi doing ask Achiyoimru. Achiyoimru Leila Ben Shetziva Shas Misaz Shloy Nivda. Uba Mira Sagi Beloy Edis Gemura. The Hachazokim Machzagin Becheska Shenivda. Lav Zoyi Bechazokim Mali. So it's not a real Chazaka. The Ruba De Itchi Loy Avdi Lemifte Chayve Miyad. Most people don't pay on time. Now he says,
Don't pay before it's due.
No.
No, it doesn't say that.
This is Achar Shloshim Yom.
Zachar Shloshim.
This is Achar Shloshim.
It could be not miful l'chayv.
This is after Shloshim Yom.
But here's the point. So Rashi says, who exactly is going to prove this? Every coin that comes to him, you didn't pay me. Kohen Reuven is going to come. Rabbi Shlomo is going to come to the kohen and say, your father didn't pay me. You're right, he didn't pay you. You paid another kohen. So how could a kohen bring a raya?
So who's the Yarmullah? His mother? Who's the Yarmullah?
There's some sort of shmua, I don't know. But there's no receipt. You can just say, my father paid.
You went to give you a receipt?
Are you joking? He didn't let me into his house. It was at the door.
No, maybe.
I remember that it was a little box. You know those little boxes that you put like a ring, like a pair of diamonds in? I don't know if they still have, like a piece of plastic. The guy in the silver store, he opened it up and he filled it with these little, I don't know if they still do that, balls of silver, pure silver. Filled it up, he said, here, this is 5 slime. Give me all your bar mitzvah money and Shalom Yisrael.
Did they not carry you in
Why so much?
What?
no silver tray?
Just
What? When I was 13 years old on a silver tray.
$45. Why do you have to give this guy so much money?
I don't
You have to
know.
give the
That's
whole
right.
Levi's money.
My cookie was only 45. I have no
It's
idea.
less than $45.
To me, it seemed like everything.
Took everything from you.
It's about 45, no?
It's a shekel a
How
gram.
much is it?
85 shekel.
How much is that?
Yeah,
He
You
charged
looked
you
it
more money because it took so long.
up? No, I looked it up. I thought it was
Tomorrow-
about 50 cents a gram. 47 cents a gram.
Shekel.
Tomorrow's,
I found out yesterday. I called up the
It's
guy.
100% a shekel a gram?
Yeah.
You sure? So why did I
Yesterday's
see
market.
47? Okay.
tomorrow's-
it wasn't so
tomorrow's
clear.
daf is, how many grams? The Chazon Ish is 96.
Tomorrow's daf, today's daf.
Well, end of
We could push it off to tomorrow if you want.
Yeah, it's
I-
too complicated.
Basically, they saw you coming. Both the silversmith and the coin
Yeah.
saw you coming.
The kind was kind of annoyed.
I had to
Why don't I do
calculate
this?
it.
Like another Chazon Ish thing.
Today's
I think he had like a line. What did I say his name was?
Rappaport.
Rappaport, yeah.
Was it?
Oh,
Yeah. Pretty
import,
sure.
export, rapport.
I want to know why he charged you so much.
I don't know what he charged me. I have no idea. It was you know how long ago that was? 33 years ago. All right. Who lived dois? Ubenoy lived dois. If he has a choice, he only has 5 sel in his pocket, and he could be point. This goes back to Noam's question, what the chiyuv is. Who's the chiyuv? Who lived dois? Ubenoy lived dois. He could redeem himself. He could redeem his son. Who koydim livnoi? A mitzvah that's dependent on him for himself. He comes first. Review the oiber benoy koydmoi. Shemitzvasei al aviv u'mitzvas benoy alav. Review this says, wait a minute. He himself, his father was obligated to get him, to redeem him. So let his father worry about it. Your obligation is for your son, for the grandchild. So you take care of your job, and your father will take care of you. Why are you taking care of yourself? So first comes your son. That's what review this says. Itmar, hapoides b'noi b'toich shleishim yoyim. If somebody redeemed the son within 30 days, Rav Omar b'noi padu, Yishmul Omar ein b'noi padu. Says the Gemara, the Kuli Alma Machshav ein b'noi padu. If the person says, he specifies, he says, I'm giving you koyin 5 slaim because I want my son to be padu right now. Everybody agrees that that's not opinion of Ben. It's before 30 days. There's no obligation. Doesn't work. La'achar shleishim yoyim. If he makes a tonight with him, he says, I'm giving you the money today, but my son is only 2 days old. It should be chal in 20 whatever days, 29 days. And the money is still around, the kohen never used it. So everybody will agree that that works if he made a stipulation in the time. So the whole machlokes over here is, if they made a t'nai, he gave him the money now, and it said it should be chal in 30 days, or whenever it is. And the money is not there for the, let's use a geshmaka lashon that they use in yeshivas. The chalois, when the chalois happens, the money wasn't there. You ever heard that lashon? They had it in yeshiva. I didn't know what it meant when I was in yeshiva. Now it seems to like, oh, it's shmak. Rav Omar b'noi padu immediately hava kedushi isho. If a person gives a woman money, he gives her a pruta and says, I want you to be mekudesh with this money in 20 days from now. Even when the money is gone, it's considered kiddushin. So over here, so really we have 2 things going on here. We have the Maisa Pidyon, and then we have the Chalois Pidyon. The Maisa happened before the 30 days. He gave him the money, he tried to do a Maisa. And then he wanted to be Chal when it was able to be Chal. Shmuel says a very nice distinction. By Kiddushin, he was able to be Mekadosh her that day. He was just playing games with her. He said, I wanted to be Chal in 20 days. I'm still in school after to finish up a few errands. But he could have done it right then and there. So because he had the power to do it then and there, so it'll also work in 20 days. But opinion of Ben, he doesn't have the option. It could only work in 20 days. So therefore it doesn't work, says Shmuel.
Can't say Gemara's lahab no?
What?
You say money like
Yeah, so that's the whole sugi in Kedushin. She used it, and if she's not miskadish with it, then she owes him the money, and therefore with that anah, I think something like
But
that.
why not the same thing give with the Piyah Ben?
Most like son did, no?
And
But he
now-
didn't. But he didn't use it.
It's not chal yet.
No, we're saying he
By
did use
Bilva,
it.
not Mos.
We say that
Also
he did use
from
the coin, the money's gone. The coin spent the money, and therefore suddenly there is a
And what do you want to
problem.
do? So Milva leitzana, what is leitzana? It's not a milva, but okay, let's say, and it's leitzana doing then. Therefore what?
And
say it
therefore,
like
the fact is he.
Oh, it should go backwards. It should
The client's
work.
got to give back the money, and then he does a new penny down payment time. Maybe a theoretical transaction.
You mean like
but
okay? So that's what Rav says, and Shmuel says no. It doesn't work because it couldn't work at the time. So if it couldn't work at the time, you can't do
And
something
Shmuel
like
says you
that.
have to give the money back. The
What?
Kohen owes him the money back now.
According to Shmuel,
Yeah.
why not? If it didn't work, l'chari has to
He
give
owes
it
the
back.
money.
Yeah.
It's just done all of
Yeah. A lot of Rishonim are not gores these lines here, but we'll read it anyways. It's in the Gemara of Avagav because it's basically the same thing. Avagav the kaim alone, the kol heicha, the pligi Rav Shmuel looks like a Rav Bisur. Sorry, maybe the next piece. Over here, everybody
No, it's both.
it's both. Okay.
You can't say the halachas in like one place and nothing else.
What do you mean?
Remember, Pascal's like Rav, yeah?
Yeah.
So he can't have it in both
Oh, he
places.
can't because of that. Okay, that's for a
He has
different
to-
reason.
he has to take
I'm
the
talking about
other-
something else. That all the words are extra. The halacha is like Rav and Yisurim, and over here we're talking about Pidyon Ben. No, it's not Mamonis. This Shmuel. This is really considered. So you're touching a point.
It is
You
Mamonis.
viewed it. What do you guys view it as? Is this Mamonis or Yisurim?
Why is it mama?
that. Both.
Right.
The
Sort of
moment
both.
to solve, it's
The what?
If you don't know what to do, so now you have a question: who gets the money? So it's Mamonis. But we're really discussing a halacha here. Is the kedushin chal? Is the pidyon ben chal? So it's more of an iser. It's a halacha kind of thing. So in halachas we go like Rav.
Yes, what's
But some people say that's exactly why the halacha is like Shmuel here because it has a flavor of Mamonis.
yes, a heel. Why isn't it like a stuff? Why is it like a
No, it's just
hole?
tiksah. We're using all these issues. It's a tiksah of what happens with the halacha. Because the halacha is like this, so somebody owes somebody money.
So why isn't it a heel? Why isn't it a mama decision? Why isn't it like he owes a shtar?
I told you,
he owes a
because
shtar
first
of
comes the
mama.
Isser. First we have to know, does the Pidyon Ben work or not? Once we know that, then is this guy does he owe him money or not? But the money comes afterwards. First we have to know the Isser. It's not a question in halacha, does Reuben owe Shimon money? It's a question in halacha Pidyon Ben first. Is it chal or not chal if you do it before the time comes? Once I know the halacha, it comes out that the kohen owes him money, doesn't owe him money. Yisrael owes the kohen money. But that's only a teitzah. It's not. Meis b'toy shloishim yoyim. If the kid died within 30 days, av b'shonasan l'kohen yachzir lo chomesh shloim. If he gave the kohen, he prepaid the kohen has to pay back. Time in the maze. Halal maze b'noi padi. So you see that you can do the pidyon ben before the time. It says the Gemara Davi said, that's not a question. We never had the question. Everybody agrees that if the money's still around, it works. The question is if the money's not around. Tashma. And the last Mishnah, if the father dies, we have chazaka that he wasn't nivda. Hasam nami. This nulama is beinayu. Tashma b'cheske shleim nivda achi yoyim lo nivda. So, what's missing here?
You just did that.
No, I know. I just read it again. What's the Gemara's kash here? The cheskes shalei nivda achi in relation nivda. He wasn't padui until, but it's mashma, right? You have to stick in. But it's mashma that if we know for a fact that the father did pay before the shloshim yoyim, it works. So you see that Pidyon Ben works. And then this little mois benai. Tani dani kami de Rav Yehuda. Hapoides benoi b'tem shloshim yoyim. It says in the Brayso that if you redeem within 30 days, benoi padui. Omar le Shmuel, Omar ein benoi padui. How could you say that it works? Shmuel paskins that it doesn't work. Madam is benoi padui. Ba'aga the kaimelon karabi surei ukishmuel bedine hachilchasik of said Shmuel that it doesn't work. So that's why they think they take it out. A lot of you should remove this because we just said this exact thing that Allah is like Shmuel, and it seems like it's redundant. Both, okay, yeah. For other reasons,
because remember Pascal's like Rav,
like Rav.
right? So that's contradicts the Gemara. So
It has to be that he
So
didn't have this version of the Gemara.
Yeah.
If the grandfather had died, does he still have to redeem himself, or is it his father's property?
Yeah.
Even if the
Obviously,
father-
we don't care. The grandfather, yeah, he has to redeem himself. Just what the review was saying before was whose obligation is first, his own son or himself? Since it was his father's obligation, if he has all the money, if he has 10 slime, he should redeem himself also, obviously. Because there's a, where did I see it? Here.
What are you talking about where the father, where the grandfather?
Here, let's go a few more lines, you're going to see it a little better. Who lived those, who lived those, who couldn't live those? Who lived those, who lived those? If he has money only for one of the two, to redeem himself or his son, who couldn't live those? That's what we had in the Mishnah. Yehuda says, since he's obligated in his son, and his father should have done him, so let him redeem his son first. Everybody agrees that if he only had 5 selah, he comes first. My time, the mitzvah the day adiv. So there are those who medayik from these words, mitzvah the day adiv, that it's not his mitzvah to redeem his son. It's his the Torah put it on him. The mitzvah is on a person. The Torah said, the father, you do it.
Because he's a captain, he can't do it himself.
Right. It's like a bris. It's the father's mitzvah, the kid's mitzvah. It's the kid's mitzvah. The kid has to be mol. He can't do it, so they tell the father to do it. But whose chiyuv is it? He can't go, I am not getting a bris because my father didn't do it. My father died. That's not how it works. So, but over here it says mitzvah the day adif. What does it mean? Adif from what? You have the father. You have the father. He has to redeem himself, and the father's looking at his baby. Should he redeem his baby? And the Gemara says mitzvah the day adif. What do you mean mitzvah the day adif? He also has a mitzvah to redeem his son.
Right.
The same.
On your
It's
own
the same.
goof.
It's on the same
It's
plane.
not, because it's on your own body.
It doesn't say mitzvah the goof. It says mitzvah the day. It's
He
his.
explains. Mitzvah
His.
mitzvah goof,
But what does the day mean? The day means his
on his
mitzvah.
goof.
Okay.
That's what he explains.
Telling you how they're medayik here. Keep linking. Look on the Rishayim. Fine. I hear.
It's a good deal. He's explaining to you the answer to your question.
It's not someone doing the words.
Goof
Keep
fight.
linking.
Goof fight. What do you want?
It doesn't say gufa. It says the day. He says.
D-Day. What's D-Day? It's him, on him.
The translation of G'day is his.
Say it.
Versus not his. Not his. Versus not
Versus
his.
not his goof.
Not
Yes.
his goof.
Versus not his goof.
His wallet.
He's being medayik. Yeah, his goof. That's what he's saying.
wallet.
That answers your question. You don't like it. You don't like it. Say that. That's what he's saying.
I'm just repeating. I'm repeating what I saw that they are medayik. You're repeating from the Vishinanda.
That's correct. That's right. Proudly so.
The guys in Muncie
Proudly so.
are mechulik on.
We love Muncie. We love you. Okay. Go for it, Muncie.
Keep linking. Echedik chomish mishua bodois.
No vaccinations.
Okay. Fine. So the Gemara. Keep linking. Echedik chomish mishua bodois. So now the Gemara comes into like a very unique case. The father had a field and he owed the Pinyan Ben and he sold it. So there's a shi'abud on that
I
field.
think Martin Kiddushin has the same Gemara, no? It's the same
Yeah, it seems like, I don't know. I remember Kiddushin.
Okay, so there's only 5 slime.
So there's really 10 slime here. 5 are in a field that he sold, v'chamish b'nei chayim, and 5 are sitting around, roaming around in the bank. Rabbi Yehuda savar milva haksuv v'atoyra kiksuv b'shtar dami. So different than what we said yesterday, by the way, because yesterday we were talking about in Rabbi Yehuda and we completely ignored this. Remember that list of 4 different things that he holds. One of the things was that we hold a milva haksuva b'toyra is a milva al peh. That's how we learned yesterday. That since the obligation of Pidyon Ben is in the Torah, it only has the strength of al peh. And in al peh, you could only go after the yarshin. Now we're saying differently. Milva haksuva b'toyra kiksuva b'shtardan. It's very, very strong. The Torah told you to pay the Pidyon Ben. It says, I don't need anything more than that. It's like a shtar. So therefore, the 5 that's in the field, let the guy go, his own chiyuv, let the guy go, get it from the field. And the leftover 5 that he has in the bank, he should redeem his son. That's the shita that we had yesterday. That anything that the Torah obligates you, Pidyon Ben, is just a weak milval peh. Hilgach mitzvah day, or so they can't go after the field. You can't go after the field. The guy that bought the field said, "Who are you?" The guy, I bought a field. It's my field. The guy has a chiyuv to pay Pidyon Ben. You can't come collect from me because it's only a milval peh. Leave my field alone. So now, what's left there is only 5 selah in the father's bank. that 5 selah goes to himself. So he did himself.
Yeah, but you can't spend.
How do we view the Pidyon Ben? Do we view it as a very strong lien or a weak lien? If it's a very strong lien, then the person that bought the field is up the creek. He lost his field. He paid 5 selah for it. It was previously obligated to the kohen, and that's it. The kohen goes and takes his field away. But if it's a very weak lien, it's only a milval pet. It's as if he made a deal with the kohen. He says, I owe you 5 selah for a Pidyon Ben. We don't care that the Torah says it. Then the guy holds on to his
So
field.
massive difference between a loan on a star, which the whole town knows because Regis is invested.
No, and the whole town knows. This guy had a son, and he owes 5 selah.
But do they know that he's done a Pidyon Ben or not? Do they know whether he's...
And who said that's the vart of a star?
No, the Vart of a Shtar.
Coil.
The Vart of a Shtar is
Got
that
coil.
at the time he bought the field, he was aware that there's a private.
That's what he's saying. He's saying it's
liability.
based on coil.
Yeah. And therefore he knows he's got to give up this money before he starts. He just puts it aside. He knows there's a contingent liability on this thing. Whereas
So whatever the svar is, if you're right about the coil, I remember the sugya, I don't remember how we paskin and all that. Then there's a coil. Everybody's invited to the Pidyon Ben. Everybody knows the Pidyon Ben. Don't buy fields now. The guy he's out of a job for a few years.
There's 20 years.
He might not have enough.
There's 20 years between the sale of the field and this is happening. We're talking about the father sold the field after.
There was a Shia boot.
Yeah, we're talking about 20 years
Okay.
difference between when he.
All right, let's see this real
The father
quickly.
was born.
This is a sugya that takes more than a minute.
It's a new story.
Maybe we'll do it. We'll go back tomorrow. But says the Mishnah. No, we're going to do now as much as we can. It says in the Torah, by the way, it says you have to give 5 shekel, right? It says the Mishnah chomish sloim. We always call it selah, right? Today we paint selah. Chomish sloim shel bang b'mana tzuri. Mana tzuri is pure silver. So we're giving pure silver, which is really 8 times the amount of what we were supposed to give. Shloishim shel. However, so now we'll go into the numbers soon. Chomish sloim shel ben mana b'mana tzuri. Shel ben, sorry, the chomish sloim of a Pidyon Ben is mana tzuri. That's different than the rest of the Mishnah. It's pure silver. Shloishim shel. When your ox kills somebody else's slave, you have to pay that owner 30. So you give in shekel, which is different than selah, than tzuri. Chamishim shel oynes v'shel mefata, the 50 you give for oynes and mefata, omer shel meitzi shemra, if somebody's meitzi shemra gets malchus, plus he has to pay 100. Kulam b'shekel ha'kodesh b'moneh tzuri. So, Pidyon Ben basically is each selah is 24 ma, which is 1.2 more than what we give for the shekel hakodesh. It's a higher amount. And if you want to give the kohen by Pidyon Ben, or you want to pay off the owner of the slave, you could give him whatever you want. You give him toothpaste instead of kesef. Chutz mishkal. When you do the machzeh shekel, you can't come into the Beis Hamikdash with cholent. You have to come in with the machzeh shekel. What time is it?
Exactly.
All right, fine. So we'll start over here.
So the Mishnah said that all those things are not tzuri.
Yeah, not all the things.
All the things you said.
All the other things, but the first thing is the first thing is mana tzuri, and the last things are shekel tzuri,
The second kodesh, the mana tzuri.
but not a selah tzuri. So the first one is selah tzuri, and the rest are shekel tzuri.
Where do you see that?
Because the Mishnah says, Chomish Sloim shel ben b'mana tzuri, and it says b'shekel b'mana tzuri.
Each one.
One is a selah in mana
Where does it say
tzuri.
b'shekel tzuri? Where does it say that?
It says kulam b'shekel.
The shekel hakodesh.
Right? It's a different bin mana tzuri. And a shekel in a mana.
What's the nafkamina?
It's a 1.2 versus 1.
Well,
It's
it's
a
less or more?
It's less.
It's less all the things?
Pidyon Ben is 1.2
That's
versus
more.
1. Tomorrow we'll go through it a little bit more.
All right.
I don't quite understand how
These calculations will be
the
done.
Pidyon Ben is an idea of
Of
history,
money.
not a.
That's all. People are.